A man's at the mercies of the court following threats to an ambassador. The DPM satisfied with the voter registration process, and downtown Nassau welcomes a new resort. Good evening, everyone. I'm Leah Cooper with your JCN News for this Wednesday, July 21st. And a Lutheran appeared in the magistrate's court today following a video making its rounds on social media where he's recorded threatening the South African ambassador to the Bahamas. Laurencia Smith has more.
30-year-old Kenton knows of a Lutheran entered a guilty plea in Magistrate Darren's Rule Davis court today for threats of death and harm against non-resident High Commissioner to the Republic of South Africa and Island Luck CEO Sebastian Bastian, and threats of death against co-founder of Island Luck, Adrian Fox. According to the Crown, on July 18th, Mr. Bastian reported that his friend forwarded 2 voice notes concerning him, his daughter, and his business partner, Adrian Fox. He said that he saw the voice notes posted online by the defendant and noted that he was familiar with him as he posted derogatory comments in the past and chose to ignore them. Bastian went on to say that he listened to both recordings and he heard Knowles making threats towards him, saying, "Anywhere I see him, I would take him out. This world and money will not save him. That Sebastian is a devil. That he has girls, he should have had sons." Meanwhile, the other recording, the defendant said that he was giving him and Adrian the chance to do the right thing. He also said that Bastian paid someone to kill him. Fox also told police that he received threats of death after he heard the defendant saying that he was giving him and Sebastian a chance to do the right thing. And also he saw several videos of Knowles on social media pages. The defendant was later arrested in Eleuthera and interviewed by police when he admitted to making the threats, as he claims that the people who worked for Bastian did him wrong and would not leave him alone. The magistrate requested that Knowles be evaluated and he has been remanded until August 30th. I'm Laurencia Smith for JCN News.
Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Works Desmond Bannister is not at all concerned about the number of complaints surrounding the voters' registration process. He says this much this morning.
In the Bahamas, we have one of the highest percentages of people who vote in the world. When you look at elections in the United States and elsewhere, when you see 30-40% of the people voting, that doesn't compare to the Bahamas. In the Bahamas, we have over 90% of Bahamians who vote in elections, who are eligible to vote. And so the good thing is that, and what we celebrate is that so many people rushed out to register to vote. That means that when you elect a government, it's indicative of the wishes of the people. In that process, you're going to find that there are challenges. And when you find there are challenges, we have to work to improve them.
He adds that the upcoming general elections will accommodate one of the largest advance polls ever in the history of the country.
So you're going to have some challenges that we have to work our way through now to be able to ensure that we have an election day that runs without flaws, without any problems. And that's what we're working on. If any of y'all were at the advance poll in the last election, it was a mess. It was terrible. I've never seen anything like that.
The DPM also addresses concerns put forth by House Speaker Halson Moultrie concerning displaced or deceased Hurricane Dorian victims.
The register is only as good as we are. So as candidates, what every candidate does is go through the register and they look to see who are the people who are deceased, who may still be on the register. And this happens in every election. This is not something new. So if you have people in your constituency who are deceased, you have people who are moved out, that is part of the process of campaigning. And so candidates get out there and they go through the register with a fine-tooth comb. And when that process is completed, candidates ensure that the register is a clean one. And that's the process we've had for many, many years.
He tells reporters this much on the sidelines of the opening of the Margaritaville Resort. With early election talk in the air and the voters' registration process facing some challenges, members of the Progressive Liberal Party are calling on the government to make the necessary changes to make the process a smooth one for potential voters. Drino Saunders has more.
More accusations being thrown at the competent authority and its cabinet members from the official opposition. This time, the Progressive Liberal Party's candidate for Freetown, attorney Wayne Munro, QC, is accusing the competent authority of deliberately making it more difficult for residents to register to vote when it is their fundamental right to do so, and the system which allows them to do so must also be fundamentally correct. Mr. Monroe says following Hurricane Dorian and with the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, many people have been displaced or have changed addresses and need to have the same reflected by the Parliamentary Registration Department and on their voter's card. And this is all for the preparation of the upcoming general elections. During a press conference at the PLP headquarters on Wednesday morning, Mr. Monroe contends there is no law that supports the government's policy position, and he called on them to correct the situation immediately.
We have a situation in which the government appears to be deliberately making it more difficult for more and more Bahamian citizens to exercise their right to vote. And you just need to look at it. If you are a first-time voter, you present yourself, you tell them where you are living, and you are registered at that address in that constituency. But we've moved to a permanent register where the parliamentary commissioner has the counterfoil of every registered voter's card. But you're being asked to produce your voter's card or a police record if it's been lost or defaced. There is no requirement in law for this to be done. In fact, it is counterintuitive.
Asked why the opposition believes the government is deliberately suppressing residents from registering to vote, Mr. Monroe says the government and its members have seen clear signs that voters are not pleased with them.
These are the persons who are being asked to produce, we say, unnecessary documents in order to be transferred to properly exercise their franchise. You must wonder, why is this being done in this age? It seems to me that it is quite deliberate. It is deliberate because the government is well aware that the persons who it has failed in Abaco and Grand Bahama will not be pleased with them, will likely be in the line to vote them out.
Mr. Monroe adds that the opposition is calling on the government to stop playing games and make the process simple.
The PLP calls on them to stop the games and to serve the citizens by making it very simple for you to transfer. They have the counterfoils. They know who the persons are. There's absolutely no reason and no legal or moral justification for these extra requirements, and we call on them to stop it.
The Freetown candidate also noted that the government is trying to digitize everything except the voter registration. He described the current process and condition of voters' cards issued recently as pathetic and not indicative of the expertise and technology available to the government. Jcn Saunders for Jcn News.
A staggering 95 new additional cases of COVID-19 infections confirmed in country over the last 24 hours. COVID-19 infections are still surging as 81 new cases were confirmed just the day before. Health officials confirming the 95 cases in the Ministry of Health's update for Tuesday, July 20th. 77 cases confirmed on New Providence, 7 on Grand Bahama, 4 cases each on Eleuthera and Exuma, 2 cases on Bimini and Cat Key, and 1 new case on Abaco. Total cases in country now stand at 13,781. Hospitalizations again increasing as the Ministry of Health confirms a total of 92 of those infected are hospitalized. 13 of those infections are battling the virus in intensive care. 79 are considered moderately ill. 1,264 cases are active at this time. Health officials confirmed 26 of those that were infected have recovered, pushing total recoveries to 12,158. The death toll remains at 274. 22 deaths are still under investigation. You're watching Jcn News. Stay with us.